Hi traders, welcome to our weekly top-down analysis. So stay tuned for trading setups with your entry levels, take profit levels, and stop loss levels. So for this episode, we're beginning with step index, and as always, we begin analyzing from the weekly time frame by marking our key zones, supply and the demand zones. So we have a supply up there, and then down here we have a demand zone that is forming. Therefore, our bias is still from the weekly time frame. Our buyers are still going to be looking for selling opportunities, or until we see at this level there is a change of character, and then we'll change our bias because step index is usually bearish. Moving on to the daily time frame. So from the daily time frame, this is our most recent break of structure. So we have a break of structure, and then the other block which caused the break of structure from the daily time frame. It is that order block. Heading over to the 4 hours time frame. From the 4 hours time frame, that is where our break of structure is in our order block. And then we have a swing low down there. Heading over to the 2 hours time frame. From the 2 hours time frame, our order block is at that point. Heading over to the 1 hour time frame. So from the 1 hour time frame, adjusting our break of structure to the 1 hour time frame, that is what we have. And then our entry price, and then I can see we have liquidity that is seated here, where that price has to sweep to go and tap us into that order block. So you can go ahead and place a sell limit on step index with your entry price at 7880.4, stop loss at 7930.5, and then you take profit level at 7733.9, and always apply proper risk management. So I'm anticipating for price to go and sweep the liquidity that is seated there, take me in, and then proceed selling. Because step index is usually bearish, I always look for selling opportunities on step index. So that is what I'm anticipating. That is what I'll be watching out for this week. Heading over to volatility 101 is from the weekly time frame. We can see price is reacting from that supply. It has been pushing down from that supply. Now down here we have a demand zone. So from the weekly time frame, the buyers still bearish. We're going to be looking for selling opportunities as price is not yet at our demand zone. Heading over to the daily time frame. From the daily time frame, this is our most recent break of structure. So we have a break of structure, And then the order block, which caused the break of structure. From the daily time frame, it is that order block. And then we have our swing low down here. Moving over to the 4 hours time frame. Adjusting to the 4 hour. That is where a break of structure and order block is going to be. Heading over to the 2 hours time frame. Now heading over to our entry time frame, which is the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, we cannot minimize anymore. Therefore, I'm just going back to the 2 hours time frame. I'm going to place my coordinates. So I see this trend line liquidity that price has to clear to go and take me in. So my coordinates for the sell limit, you can go ahead and place a sell limit on volatility 101S with your entry price at 1116.92, stop loss at 1244.81, take profit at 674.92, and always apply proper risk management. So for volatility 101S, this is what I'm anticipating for price to sweep the liquidity. So go and take me in and then continue selling because our bias is bearish. So that's what I'm going to be observing this week to see if it plays out on volatility 101S. Moving over to volatility 100. From the weekly time frame, the bias is very clear. We are forming lower lows and lower highs. Therefore, we are in a downtrend. Moving our key levels, marking our key levels. We have that supply there. And then I can see price is forming a demand zone right here. Therefore, we are pushing from this demand zone. However, the overall bias is bearish. Therefore, I'm going to be looking for selling opportunities. Moving over to the daily time frame. From the daily time frame, we have that recent break of structure. We have that break of structure. And then the order block, which caused that break of structure from the daily time frame, it is that order block. Moving over to the 4 hours time frame. From the 4 hours time frame, the order block will be at that point. And then I see price already sweep the liquidity is almost at our level of interest, which is our point of interest. The liquidity that was sitting here has been swept. This trend line liquidity here. Price is almost at our order block. And then we have this swing low. Heading over to the 2 hours time frame. From the 2 hours time frame, we can go ahead and place a sell limit on volatility 100 with your entry price at 507.09, stop loss at 572.70, take profit at 253.76, and always apply proper risk management. So I'm anticipating for price to complete this move take me into the order block, and then continue selling because we are in a downtrend. The overall bias is a downtrend. Cannot minimize any further on the 1 hour, therefore I'm just going to stick to the 2 hours time frame. Heading over to jump 10 index. From the weekly time frame, we can see that this jump 10 index is in a range. It's ranging. Currently it's at that supply zone, and then we have a demand right there. Therefore the bias is very clear from the weekly time frame. We are going to be looking for selling opportunities from that demand until we get from that supply until we get to this demand zone. Moving over to the daily time frame. From the daily time frame, we can see that was the last break of structure to the upside before price stepped into that supply zone. So we have a break, so we had a break of structure, and then right there we had a change of character where the sellers violated structure. The buyers could not maintain structure anymore. We have a change of character, and then price stepped into that order block, and then we are pushing down. Therefore a change of character has occurred. We are just going to be looking for selling positions. Now we have our swing low at that level, another low there. Moving over to the 4 hours time frame. So from the 4 hours, the change of character, if we are to adjust, it occurred at that level. The last break of structure is going to be now at that level right there. And price reacted off the FVG in the 4 hours time frame, the 4-hour FVG. Now we are to maximize. We have a recent break of structure here. We have a recent break of structure. Have a break of structure, and then the other block which caused that break of structure. From the 4 hours time frame, it is that other block. Moving over to the 2 hours time frame. From the 2 hours time frame, our other block is going to be at that level together with the break of structure. Heading over to the 1 hour time frame. From the 1 hour time frame, From the 1 hour time frame, we have our order block at that level where we have that internal break of structure. So we have two areas of interest where we have that internal break of structure with that order block. And then we also have this general break of structure. We have that general break of structure. And then we also have an order block right there. That order block, and then we also have that break of structure. We also have this break of structure that I'm seeing as a liquidity area. Therefore, all my confluences are intact. We have a recent break of structure. We have liquidity present to this order block. I'm seeing this as liquidity area that price has to sweep to go and tap me in. Therefore, I'm going to be positioning. I'm going to be positioning at this first order block because I see we have liquidity at this level, which was caused by that break of structure. Now, you can go ahead and place a sell limit on Jump 10 index with your entry price at 97039.32, stop loss at 97807.89, and then take profit at 95427.91, and always apply proper risk management. Therefore, I'm anticipating for price to sweep this liquidity, tap me in, and then continue selling because our bias is bearish. All right, traders, that's it for this episode. If you did find the episode helpful or enjoy it, please consider sharing with your friends and family, those ones who are interested in trading. And let's have a profitable trading week. See you next week.